Hey kids, Treacle here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm bringing you another episode of Hey Lamb, and today I am sat with Michael Alexander. Not many people can say that they've sung with Mariah.
Slipping away, away. And Mariah whipped around, looked right at me, and went, slipping away from the life and the love we made. And I was just like shocked. I was like, thank you.
Hey Michael.
Hi, Lamb. How are you?
Hey Lamb, I'm very well. How are you? Welcome to the channel.
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me on. I've been a fan of the channel since you started, and it's been a great outlet to kind of chat with someone about Mariah when we're actually not allowed to be with people. So it's been a great outlet for that, and congratulations, and I'm excited to see where the channel goes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm so happy to sit here and chat with you. Let's kick things off with you telling me and everyone about you, where you're from, your background, and most importantly, how you found your way to the Lamely.
I am from Butler, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 miles north of Pittsburgh. I went to college in Boston, and I'm currently in LA. I'm a singer-songwriter slash work in restaurants to make money until something takes off. But yeah, I've loved music pretty much my whole life. My first time singing, I was 8 years old when I did my first solo, and I've kind of, been growing, and eventually that got into choir and musicals, which turned into songwriting and recording, and now I've been releasing my own songs and albums and music videos and doing it on my own. So, I'm excited to see where it goes, and definitely a huge inspiration from Mariah, obviously. How did I become a lamb? I'm gonna say this is summer of 2005. I was in between 5th and 6th grade, and every summer I would go to my aunt's house in New Jersey, and my two older cousins, Andrea and Jessica. We'll say hi to them. So I would go to New Jersey 2 weeks, and I mean, that summer, every other song on the radio was We Belong Together. Like, it'd be a song, We Belong Together, a song, We Belong Together. And I was they had an out of ground pool, and it was, that was so cool. And we were in the pool, and it was just on the radio, and I was like, what is this song? I just remember this voice, this song, and I asked my cousin Jessica, I was like, who is this? And she was like, Mariah Carey. And I was like, I don't know who that is. And she was like, Honey, Always Be My Baby, Vision of Love. And I was like, I don't know who that is. And she was like, So, Shake It Off came out, and I was just obsessed. And I bought The Emancipation of Mimi and wore it. It's somewhere over here. It's this thin. I've never played a CD more in my life. And then I remember probably 6th grade, I was on the bus, and Always Be My Baby came on the radio, and it snapped. I was like, I know this song, and I know this voice, that's Mariah. So I bought the number ones and wore that out, and then I was gifted Rainbow, and it kind of just kept snowballing, and YouTube was becoming a thing. So I, discovered I loved Honey, so then I saw the music video for Butterfly, so I thought, I'll have to buy the Butterfly album, and that was the moment when I remember sitting in the back of the car and had my earphones on, and I heard Breakdown for the first time, and I don't think I've ever felt that way ever again. It was just like a magical moment that gave me my Lamb stamp, Lamb for life, after hearing that song.
That was the song that did it.
I had to get all the albums, and then I had to get all the singles because I wanted all the remixes and live versions, and then all the vinyls and cassettes, and it's just kind of, it's become its own thing. It's a part of me.
There's no stopping. Once you get that Lamb stamp, like you say, it just snowballs. I'm kind of at times I'm envious of people when they are just discovering Mariah, or they're fairly new to the Lamely, or I'm like, wow, so you didn't become a lamb until Emancipation, because then you've got like such a at that point, that's exciting, because you're like, wow, it's 2005. She came out in 1990. You've got years to delve into, and the amount of videos, the treasures that are waiting for you on things like YouTube, that's really exciting. And I kind of miss having those first moments, like I've listened to all the albums hundreds of times. You can't really show me a live performance or a remix that I don't already know and love. So yeah, that must have been really exciting, summer of 2005.
It was definitely a special time because I mean, I hate to say it, it was a few years ago, you know, it's been a while now, but it does seem not that long ago, but it was just the magic of that, of oh my gosh, here's Charm Bracelet, like in a story. I was so excited, and like I could finally like really delve into this, or you know, it was just discovering all that music and finding those CDs. I mean, I still love physical copies. I love CDs, music, but just like finding the Honey single in a CD store, like it was better than Christmas morning, you know? So it was special, kind of knowing all that stuff was out there and kind of hunting for it. Yeah.
I'm the same as you. You know, I loved collecting the physical formats, and now I'm moving into vinyl because we've got these, you know, new releases from her this year and everything. But there was nothing better, like I said, walking into a store and finding something. And I remember going into record stores and trying just looking through CDs and whatever, and then we'd find like a promo CD that's, you know, not a commercial CD. It's sent to radio and it says promo only, not for sale. And I remember Mariah was in London promoting Through the Rain, and we were killing time before we went to the hotel to stand outside and try and see her, and I found a Through the Rain promo CD, which I then ended up getting signed by her like that day, and I bought it for like £3, like $5 or something. And I just came across it, but that's like that better than Christmas feeling that you described, because it's just, you go through record stores and occasionally you might find a treasure. And what I love about this digital age is now we all rush onto Facebook, we go into our Mariah fan groups, and we're like, look what I found, it only cost $5, can you believe it?
Yeah.
I see you've got a few collection items behind you, and you sent me an amazing photo, which I'm going to make sure I share with everybody, because it's you sat proudly, quite rightly, amongst your amazing collection. So you've been collecting for quite a while. Yeah, I'm just looking through. Talk me through what some of your highlights are.
There's so much. Like the vinyl, I am obsessed with vinyl, so I have most of the original pressings, and now I'm getting the new ones, but like I can't wait for Me, I'm Mariah, like the first time on vinyl. That's so exciting to me. So I have a ton of CDs and I have a ton of vinyl that we can't really go through all of it, but they can see the picture. But I do have a personal item to me that's very special to me. Back in the Honeybee Fly days, I've won a few contests in my time, and I won a oh, we got to get the light off of it. A personal Christmas card from Mariah, for spreading my cheer, from Mariah and Nick, actually. And it says, "Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Many thanks for the holiday cheer, XOXO Mimi." And this is from 2010. But kind of I think a rare item and a personal item, so that is probably one of my favorites there.
For sure, that's gorgeous. Have you had any online interactions with Mariah?
Way back, this is probably 2008. I DM'd her about Underneath the Stars, which is one of my favorite songs. And I was like, did you ever do a music video for it? And she answered me and she was like, there is a video I did. I think I have a picture of the DM somewhere. I've never shared it though. She's like, there is a video I did, but I don't know where it went. And she was like, you can ask, and I don't want to say who it was, someone that worked at Honeybee Fly. And I remember I told everyone at Honeybee Fly, and it was kind of like an uproar, and this girl that Mariah mentioned was like, I don't have it, I don't know what you're talking about. So, but yeah, I knew there was an Underneath the Stars video.
That's awesome. Yeah, you and Mariah were talking about this years ago.
Years ago, and now we finally got it however many years later, and how special that is that we finally got to see it.
You mentioned it was the Emancipation era, the summer of 2005. And that was your gateway into the Lambhood. Did you go to the Adventures of Mimi tour in 2006? Have you been to concerts?
I have been to concerts. My childhood vacations were always Las Vegas. That's where the group family, which isn't bad, you know.
I've been 3 times. I like Vegas.
Yeah. And I remember that year, the day we left, Mariah was there the next night, and I was crushed. But it wasn't like it is now, where you know exactly like where Mariah was, and I was in like 6th grade, so it wasn't like I didn't know until we got there, and I was like, oh my gosh. But the first time I saw Mariah was in 2009. She did, before Memoirs came out, she did a stint at the Pearl Theater in Las Vegas. I met Lambs from Honeybee Fly in person. It was she sounded so good. We got to hear like Angels Cry, Up Out My Face for the first time, and it was a moment I'll never forget. And I think I sent you some pictures of the signs I made, which when we got there we weren't allowed to bring them in. But I sent you the pictures. Those are from my first Mariah concert. I made those signs.
That was confiscated or what? What was the situation?
Yeah, they didn't let us bring them in. And then Mariah said on stage, she was like, "There's no signs." We were like, "They took them away from us." But yeah, and then the next time I saw Mariah was the first year for the Christmas show. I was in Boston, living in Boston at the time, so I don't know if I took a bus or I flew to New York, and my mom met me and we went to see the Christmas show. I got to meet Christopher Buckle. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you've got a great picture with Christopher. How did that moment come about?
It was very strange being in the audience there because the Beacon is a beautiful theater. It's not like a stadium though, so it was just like sitting there and you're kind of like, there's Christopher Buckle sitting right there, and there's, you know, her manager at the time. It was just kind of like, it was like surreal. Like, do I go up to these people? Like, they're right there. And Christopher was so nice. And, you know, we took a picture out in the hall, and it was pretty special to see the Christmas show. Like, that was the first year. It was like a magical thing. And so that was a great experience. I went to Number One to Infinity twice. The first time, she canceled the next night because of laryngitis. So it was a good show, and I got, you know, she kind of came down the aisle. I was on the row, so it was pretty cool. But the next time we went, my family was in Vegas, and I was like, she's here, I have to go, you know, I have to go. And so I was like, I'm just gonna get the cheapest ticket I can. And my cousin's like, I'll go with you. And we were like on the third balcony way in the back, and my cousin went up to the usher and she was like, are there any seats open down front? And he took us dead center second row. And that was probably my favorite Mariah concert because I had never been at that point that close to Mariah.
Wow.
It's like she came forward for Vision of Love, and like my feet weren't even touching the ground. Like I was so excited. We were right there, and it was the last night of that leg, so she was just having a ball, and she sounded so great, making jokes. It was a great time. And then I went to All the Hits tour with Lionel Richie at the Hollywood Bowl. Well, should we get into Mariah moments right now?
It's next on my list. I want to hear about your moments with her. So yeah, talk away.
One of my best friends had a connection to the Jimmy Kimmel show. Well, I think she still does. And I was probably in LA for 2 months. And I knew Mariah was going. This was during I Don't. And I told my friend, I was like, Mariah's going to be there. Like, please, 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 can we go? And so we got the okay, and we were backstage, and it was like almost like a little cafe. Like there were tables and people were eating, and we were sitting there, and Brian Tanaka walked through the door, and I was like, and he looked at me and he was like, and I was like, I'm going to go talk to him. And she was like, please don't. I was like, okay. So I went right up to him, and I had a little note. It was like a last minute thing, so I didn't really have a gift, but I brought my first CD, and I wrote her a little card. And I was talking to Brian, and I mean, he's been in Love on Top, and you know, his dance career, we were just like talking, and he said, oh, are you a part of the show? And I said, oh no, just a fan. I'm, you know, just backstage. And he said, what is that? And I said, oh, it's my first album and a card from Mariah. He's like, do you want me to go give it to her? And I was like, please, yes. So he went back and he gave me a thumbs up, and so we're sitting there talking, and Mariah walks through the room in a red kimono, wind blowing her hair, like the most beautiful statuesque thing I've ever seen in my life. And nobody reacted. Like, people were just like eating their tacos, and I was just like, to my friend Liv, I said, Mariah just walked through the room, nobody even noticed. I was like in shock just how close. That was probably the closest I'd ever been to her, you know? And I said, Liv, I was like, if she walks through again, I'm gonna sing to her. And she was like, please don't do that. Because it's very like, no pictures, no this. Like, they're very strict backstage. And I was like, okay. So Mariah walked through, and I went, so far, slipping away. And Mariah whipped around, looked right at me, and went, "Slipping away from the life and the love we made." And I was just like shocked. I was like, "Thank you." And security like whisked her away to her dressing room. But this is before the rarities and everything. So I was like, I need a Lamb song. And it's one of my favorite songs, but I was like, I need a song to like be like, there's a true Lamb here, you know? So that was a very special moment in my life, getting to kind of duet with Mimi a little bit.
Oh, that counts. That counts. That counts
It
as
counts.
a duet.
Yeah. It's just no pictures, no cameras. Like, what a moment I would want on camera I didn't get. But we got to see the show, and she did Vision of Love, and I Don't. And then our connection took us back to the green room, and it was Marianne, Takitha, Trey, like they were all back there having a good time. And I was talking to Trey, who I'm a huge fan. I mean, I have all of his albums as well. And he was telling me secrets about the upcoming tours. And my favorite song of his is Make You Happy on the Men in Black soundtrack. And he sang the whole song for me backstage. And Lance Tolbert, her bass player, came up and we were chatting. And it was just like a big family. It's like they acted like, oh, this is a real Lamb. Like he is Lambily, you know? It was an amazing moment. I didn't get to meet Mariah. Trey tried. He was like, oh, let me see. And, you know, they were kind of clearing out the people, so we didn't get to meet Mariah. But the singing moment was good enough. And getting to meet the whole family, you know, was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing memories. Not many people can say that they've sung with Mariah. And that's like, you know, a lot of people will have a story where they saw Mariah, they tried to get a picture, they tried to get her attention. Everyone screams Mariah, Mariah. Not many people just throw, you know, casually sing a line from an obscure song and get her.
Don't give my secrets away.
That is a very precious moment.
I have to thank my friend Angelique, a fellow Lamb. She kind of gave me the heads up. In LA, there was a With You listening party, and we didn't know Mariah was going to be there, but it was very hush-hush type deal, so we kind of thought this could be something cool. So she kind of gave me the info to get on the list for that. And I had just gone it was a few weeks before, we went to Barnes & Noble for GTFO. She kind of put those big letters in the window, and we thought, oh, Mariah's going to show up, and it was just a bunch of Lambs. We spent the whole day together. It was a blast.
I remember watching Twitter because it was the way they kind of hyped it, and I was watching Twitter, and everyone was like, is she going to be there? What does this mean? And I remember telling my best friend, I think Mariah's about to announce her memoir because we know she's working on it, and there's something with Barnes & Noble. So you were one of the Lambs stood outside for the long day waiting.
We stood there all day, but it was a blast just meeting all those people. And you know, LA has a big Lamb community, that was my first kind of dip into that, it was very nice. I talked to a lot of those people still. But this listening party, a lot of those people were in line when I got there. It was like a last minute thing. They were like, first come, first serve. It starts at, I don't know, 7 or whatever, and it was like 4, and I was like, I'm leaving right now. Like, I don't care. I like was running home from the gym. I was like, I'm gonna get dressed and go. So we were in line and chatting, and it was very like, our cell phones had to be put in these special bags, and we're like, oh my goodness, it's coming out at midnight, and we can't wait to hear the song. It was so exciting, and they had drinks named after Mariah songs and hors d'oeuvres and big GTFO posters. It was gorgeous, and a very small restaurant. And Mariah came out, and we were like, oh my gosh, everyone was freaking out, and she looked gorgeous, and you know, she was chatting with us, and I think With You had already been released, so we were a little late we didn't get to hear it before the world, but we got to hear it with Mariah. It was just like surreal, you know, everyone's heart's going like this, and we're listening to it for the first time with Mariah. And so no one's like, you're listening, but it's just, you're so excited, you're not really picking out details of the song. But I heard Breakdown. I heard that because that's my favorite Mariah song. And so the song was done, and she was like, did anyone catch a reference from, you know, an older song? And I thought everyone would start screaming, and everyone was dead quiet. And I was like kneeling up on this thing, and I was like, Breakdown. And she like looked at me, and I was like, oh, everyone's going to start yelling, and no one did. And I was like, all right, Michael. I was like, it's your favorite song ever. I was like, sing it to her right now. And I was just like, couldn't even remember how it went. It was just, she was right there looking right at me. And I was just like, I don't mean to be nonchalant about it, but I did catch the reference. And she was like, never be nonchalant about it, darling. And then they played a few other tracks from the album, and it was so cool. It was one of the best times of my life. And as she was leaving, it was not a ton of us in there. She did look up and give me a wave goodbye. And there is a picture on her Instagram. If you look over her right shoulder, you'll see a super happy, grinning Michael Alexander.
I've had some great moments in similar situations where it's just like a small room, like you said, a small restaurant, just full of lambs, and she comes in. It's like a group interaction thing.
Yeah.
But it feels so precious, and it just feels like the room is throbbing with love and energy.
I know, I watched your video. You have some amazing Mariah moments, and that's a lot of special moments for you. I've never been able to be like, hello, my name is Michael, but we have those special moments,
A lot of mine were very, very fleeting, like really, really fleeting. And I was with, friends, and we would put in the hours. But I've stood outside a hotel for 12 hours and she's not come outside. But then we've had like a fun, festive time just being, like you guys outside Barnes and Noble. I've done that outside a hotel in central London. So we've all been there and done that. I felt like that's what my early 20s were for. In fact, even before I was 20. So that was fun during like the student years. I don't think I've got the stamina today to stand outside a hotel for 12 hours, going to a concert, having a great time, and then leaving. That's wonderful. That's fine these days. But yeah, I think random moments like that, like going to Barnes and Noble, like, is she going to come? Is she not? Managing to get backstage at places. I had my backstage moment at Top of the Pops was through a connection, a friend who was working at BBC. So all these like random like stories, I love hearing them from other people because they're very special, and they're very random as well. Sometimes the best moments are, it wasn't at a concert, it wasn't at a show, it's because I heard a rumor, so I went over there, or I saw a shout out on Twitter, or someone reached out to me. It's all a bit cloak and dagger.
Being with her in person, with the lambs, like being a lamb, there is just, that there is a true love. I know she talked about it in the memoir, but there is just like a light and a sweetness that just like radiates off of her, so it's never like an uncomfortable moment. People are always like, I could never like go up to my idol like that. I'd be so nervous. And it's just like, we're Lamley. It's not, it's so easy. It truly is. There's just a love there that people can't understand.
Yeah, she makes it easy as much as she is this superstar, and she has got security and a schedule and people that need to move her from point A to point B. She as a human, she actually presents herself as very accessible, and she kind of has this radar now. Like I've seen her outside the hotels where she can tell who's asking for an autograph because they're someone that's taking it and selling on eBay because they want certain photos signed, or just little things. And she recognizes faces when she goes to certain cities. She knows who to look out for and stuff. So she knows. So she's got a very good lamb radar at this point. I want to move on and talk about your YouTube channel, Michael, because Michael Alexander Music is the name of your YouTube channel. There's a lot of great content on there, but there is one very that I want to hear about, and you know which one I'm talking about. Tell me about your very heavily Mariah-inspired song and amazing music video that accompanies it, because I want to hear all about this, because I was obsessed with it when I discovered it.
Well, thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the song first. These are lambs. I'll get personal. So I'd say when I wrote it, it was a very soap opera-ish time in my life. I was very depressed. And I remember it was just one day, I don't know why I was laying on the floor. I could not get up. It felt like there was a refrigerator on top of me. I was so sad. And I listened to it like an old iPod. I have the old ones. And it was playing kind of off in the distance. And yours came on, I believe in miracles, baby, I'm forever yours. And it just like struck, and I was like, Mariah is something I love, and she is an artist and made this music for us, for the lambs, and it was just like, get up, like Mariah would not want you to be doing this, and there's other things in life that are more important than what you're so sad about. So I got up and I was like, let's write a positive song, a thank you, you know? And it's funny because she did the Billboard speech not long after that where she said, this is for all the lambs that keep getting up and keep going. And it just like hit me. I was like, you you don't know how real that is, that, you know, music really can help you through. So I was like, this is a thank you to Mariah. And it was kind of the same thing with Singing Slipping Away. I was like, let me cram deep Mariah lyrics and things into this flipped. I wanted it to be an original song, not just like knocking off Mariah. So there's obviously a few song titles in there, but every line except one is a Mariah lyric kind of flipped or inspired. So I was like, let's make a thank you to Mariah for the lambs. You know, it's for a lamb showing like, I did this on my own and inspired by you. I co-produced it and, you know, just like Mariah would, authentic to the moment. And it's, I swear on Mariah, music can take you higher, spread your wings, prepare to fly. When nothing it turns out to be, music can help you see. So it's kind of how music can help you through almost anything, just like Mariah's music has.
With that fantasy gone, one thing can help you linger on. Stand tall and keep the faith. They can take that away. Fight your way through the rain. Listen to me as I say. Music can take you higher. Spread your wings, prepare to fly. When you don't know what to do, music is there for you. I swear on Mariah.
So it's a special song for me because it does have personal meaning to me, but it's also a thank you to Mariah. It's many things, but yeah, there's over like 35 references in the song to different Mariah lyrics.
There's loads of references. I mean, you definitely hear that it's your song. There's obviously a personal collection there, but at the same time, it is a celebration of her music and what her music means to you, and that comes across. And the whole paying homage and celebrating her, that vibe really comes through in the video. I counted at least 15 references to different looks and moments. I'm sure there's more than 15. I'm sure I didn't catch all of them.
I think there's more. Yeah, there's quite a few. It was so much fun. So we have this song, and I'm obsessed with music videos. When you're a lamb, you have this knowledge of all these videos. So I know that the director does not have that knowledge. So I kind of screenshotted every Mariah video and sent them all. And her name is Helia Alam, and it was edited by Jacob McCaslin. I just want to get those names out there so I don't forget. I was just looking around my life. We used my apartment, her apartment, the beach, which I work at a restaurant on the beach and use the restaurant. So it's just my daily life, looking at these spaces, finding the Mariah inspiration. Even the clothing I bought, 2 things, it was just my wardrobe. I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, this looks like this and this looks like this. So we just had a blast. We shot it over 3 days, I think. And it was just a blast to live your Mariah fantasy for a few days, you know? So yeah, I'm really proud of what we did with, you know, no budget. We just kind of made this thing. It is what it is. And it means so much to me that it got so much positive feedback from the lambs.
I think it's really fun to watch because not only do I recognize the videos, I recognize the shots from within the videos. Like, it is attention to detail that only a true lamb can give. So that's why watching it feels very satisfying, because when you're a huge lamb and you're watching something that obviously is produced by another huge lamb, you really appreciate that level of detail. So yeah, you should be very proud of that. Congratulations on it. Anyone who hasn't watched it definitely needs to go and check out Swear On Mariah, because it's a very good song and it's a very, very well put together, entertaining video for sure.
The first scene of the video is in reference to Bring On the Heartbreak. My manager, the girl I hug in the video, Kayla, her and her sister Erica were in the real video. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you have to be in it. You know, I have to hug you because you were in the real video. And they were standing beside the girl that Mariah actually hugs. And then when the video came out, the girl Mariah actually hugs, I believe her name is Cheryl, she messaged me after seeing the video. She was like, "Oh, I love your video. I'm the actual girl Mariah hugs." And I was like, "Get out of here." I was like, "My manager, my friend was standing right beside you." And she was like, "Oh, Kayla and Erica." And they reconnected on Instagram and they remember each other because, you know, like the same time back then, they were kind of doing the Mariah LA circuit and seeing her here and there. And they were, you know, in the video and bringing lambs together. What can I say, you know?
It's a small world. That is a crazy, like, yeah, you'd never expect that.
Yeah, that blew my mind. First that, you know, she would even see it and then comment and be like, "Well, guess what? You know, she was right beside you. That's your old pal there." So Michael Trujillo, who we all know and love on Instagram, we all have his clothing line as Mariah.
Yeah, I've bought several items.
Yeah, and now he works with Mariah, which is amazing. This was
Does he? I didn't know this.
He's done a few. He did the Bianca shirts.
Okay, you're educating me right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's kind of doing some official merch now, which is amazing. So congratulations to him. I reached out to him because he was doing so many great Mariah pieces, and I said, "Do you want to do the album cover for this?" And I kind of played him the song, and he was down. So we have a little butterfly, a little Vision of Love microphone, and I perform in a cape all the time, so my cape is over my shoulder, and I love it. It's really special to me, and I'm so thankful that he did that for me.
That is beautiful. It is really gorgeous. If there were another video on your channel that you wanted to give a little bit of a spotlight to, what else would you recommend people check out on Michael Alexander Music?
Well, my newest video is called Stress Dreams, and it is one I'm very proud of. It's a little spooky, but that's my newest one. So I'd check out Stress Dreams, and then I think more Mariah fans, I think they would like the song Sparks.
Definitely remember Stress Dreams because that's a very intense video, but very well put together. I did catch that one. I was like, wow, that's a real strong creative that's gone into that one.
Yeah, you know, we're doing the best with what we got, as Mariah would say.
Let's move on to present day. Mariah has truly saved the entire year. We have been blessed, gifted, overwhelmed, sent to heaven multiple times with all the different gifts and projects. I mean, do you have a standout moment? I mean, what comes to mind? What's been the pinnacle?
So everything, I mean, MC30, releasing all the singles and the EPs, I mean, I have a lot of them, but not right at the touch of my fingertips now. So it's great to have that out there. I love the single artwork. I love having all of that right there. So that is my favorite thing, and I'm excited that that is continuing on because I am holding out for Skydiving, which is one of my favorite Mariah songs that we don't have high quality of. So hopefully she gets that and can release that when we get to the memoirs era. But the memoir was being a Mariah historian, as you know, like knowing everything you can about Mariah. How many stories in there that you never knew? A billion. You know, you think you know everything and then you're like, wow. So I think the relationship with her father, from what I knew, we knew the clam sauce, linguine and clam sauce, and then kind of no talking after Vision of Love until like 2002. So to kind of hear all these stories of growing up with him and kind of learning who he is, we didn't really know his character that much. So that was very special. And just the part when she's in his apartment and she finds all those clippings that he saved, that part just, oh, that killed me. That was that's probably my favorite part of the book because it just hit me right here.
We already knew her. We already felt so close to her. And she's just taken it to a whole other level that we could only imagine beforehand. She's been very honest. And I feel like she seems like she's taken some growth through that process. And she seems confident that yeah, I've laid everything bare, that it is what it is, it's all in the book, and there it is. And she's quite comfortable being vulnerable now, which I find really endearing but also empowering for her. I've got so much respect for her. I'm so thoroughly satisfied with what we got in 2020, and I just feel very hopeful for future projects. Are there any future projects that you have on like a wish list for Mariah? Are there any particular areas or things you would like to see her move into?
I am just looking forward to more original albums. I think that's what she's queen of, you know? So, and that's not new. She's been doing that, you know, her whole career, but I am always excited for new Mariah original music. I think we'd all want a gospel album. I think that would be great. That's been said many times, many ways.
I feel hopeful that we will get another studio album in the next year or so. I don't feel like Mariah can ever sit still. I always like to ask everybody, I know you mentioned a particular favorite song, but do you have that one definitive special song by Mariah? Do you have a favorite that is above, you know, head and shoulders above everything?
I mean, Breakdown is my number one, but how can you, it's, you know, you can't pick, because like We Belong Together introduced me to Mariah, so how can you not have We Belong Together? I love The One, I love Stay the Night, I love Alone in Love, I love Slipping Away, and you have memories with these songs, so I refuse to pick one, but Underneath the Stars, I have so many favorites.
That's fine, of course. And what about albums? Obviously, Emancipation is special because that is the era you discovered her. But is there an album that is particularly close to you, or one that you lean on a little bit more? Or what are some of your favorite albums if it's too hard to pick just one?
Butterfly it's just its own thing. Everything about it, the videos, the album artwork, the lyrics, it's such an authentic time for Mariah that it's like its own category. So yeah, Butterfly, Emancipation of Mimi, and then Memoirs, which was coming out the first time I saw Mariah. So probably those three.
We're in a lucky position. We are spoilt for choice when it comes to picking favorites because we have such a strong discography from this woman. It's crazy. Before we say goodbye, Michael, where can all the good people find you online if they want to follow you and your music?
My YouTube and my Instagram are both Michael Alexander Music. If you look on the Instagram, you'll see some Swear On Mariah stuff, and I did a tribute show to Mariah, so there'll be some live clips. Not that they compare to Mariah, but we had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, you can check some of that out there for the lambs out there. But my other music and everything else, Spotify, Michael Alexander, the links are all on Instagram. So
simple. Michael Alexander Music on YouTube and Instagram. Perfect. Michael, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit down and talk with you and hear all your special, precious memories. And it's always wonderful to make a new lamb friend. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Like I said, I'm so proud of your channel. I feel like I've talked to you 300 times, and you know, this is the first time we've actually kind of talked face to face, but it was an honor getting to talk to you, and I wish you all the best, and I'll be watching.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It won't be the last time we talk, I promise. Thank you so much. All the best, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Talk to you later.
Take care. Bye.
Baby.